You know, over the course of my YouTube career, I haven't exactly made some videos that I was very much happy with, and there might be some of them throughout the this year that I will go back and revisit because there weren't too many of them that I was really happy with. And one of these was I noticed when I went back and watched it was a Multi Movie Monday video that happened not too long ago, where I reviewed this film, Captain America Civil War and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It really feels like to me that the film I mostly put up there and talked for about 13 minutes was Multiverse of Madness more so than the Batman or Captain America the Winter Soldier. So to make up for this, I don't know when the other video will be up for Captain America, but to make up for this, I'm going to go back and revisit the Batman and really give it a more in-depth look and kind of in-depth discussion. So, with that out of the way, let's start things off. This is another review or revisit of the Batman. Hello and welcome to Lazy Universe Movie Review, and I'm your host, Lazy Universe, and Batman had been one of my all-time favorite superheroes underneath Spider-Man, and the movie The Batman that came out really had a lot of expectations to measure up to, and especially with casting Robert Pattinson, a very unusual choice in the role to play the Batman. Did the Batman measure up to my hopes and dreams, and does this mean that Robert Pattinson just might be on my list of favorite Batmen? Well, let's take another look and see if Robert Pattinson really can make the Batman. To the Batcave! First of all, just let me say, I love the way how this movie opens up, in particularly with us witnessing a murder that is happening right in front of us. And yes, sadly to say, the said murder happens right in front of us with an unknown assailant that will become known later on in the movie and someone who will really get to know the Batman. And also, I, like other people, really have to agree that the opening monologue that Robert Pattinson does as the Batman was a really brilliant choice. This film had a giant moment where it really made me sit back and go, that makes sense, and particularly when Robert Pattinson is given this entire monologue as Batman or as Bruce Wayne, and letting us know how much that crime had become rampant in the city of Gotham and what Gotham had done to begin with this. Now, of course, the movie follows along the same path, basically as almost Batman Year One, and also Batman Long Halloween, and it really shares the similarity, especially with having Robert Pattinson in the movie team up later with Catwoman, played by Zoe Salandra, and that really becomes the main focus of the film. But one thing that it does kind of more better than The Dark Knight, one of my personal favorite Batman films, is that it handles the mystery of who is the criminal a lot better. And I love The Dark Knight, and I love Christopher Nolan for making that film, and I love Heath Ledger's Joker, but this really doesn't captivate more of one side of Batman that we don't get to see that often, this side of the great detective. Batman is a genius. Batman is smart. Batman knows how to solve crimes. So making him solve one of the biggest crimes in history is really good point. The film really wants us to pay attention to the crime solving side of Batman, the great detective, not just the gritty superhero, and I gotta commend the movie for this. Colin Farrell as Alfred is not really a really interesting choice, and I really don't like Colin Farrell's Alfred, truthfully, but Robert Pattinson. Really feels like to me that Robert Pattinson knows who Batman is. He really understands this great character and he gives it his all in his performance. I think that Patterson, before this movie came out, said that he was a fan of Batman, and it really does show with how much love he gives to this really amazing superhero. I'm happy to say that Patterson really did his homework and really understood what makes Batman Batman in this film, and that really was the most was the thing that I was really scared about because I was like, I didn't know how he was going to handle the entire event. I wasn't sure how exactly Patterson would handle the void, would handle the look, and just handle the downright just atmosphere of Batman because Conroy brings it to the table immediately, and God rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Adam West brought his A game, and yes, he played a more goofier and campy side of Batman, but it was the Batman that basically Bill Finger and Bob Kane did at the time, long before the Michael Keaton film, and also Batman was redirected into the more grittier path that he still sticks with today. And Christian Bale really did a damn well and awesome performance of The Dark Knight, whereas Val Kilmer did a pretty good job himself. Unfortunately, George Clooney, why do people still like him as Batman? I need to know. But I gotta say, Robert Pattinson really brought his A game to the table, and I was just amazed by how damn good that Robert fucking Pattinson of fucking Twilight impressed me with how great that he was as Batman. I was ready to say, I don't love this film. I was really about ready to say that when I was first watching it. But the more I dug deep into this film, the more that Robert Pattinson had me just with my jaw to the floor and just how amazing of a performer that he is in this movie. I know I said it in the Multi Movies Monday review, but it bears repeating that I love the relationship and friendship between Batman and Commissioner Gordon in this film. It just feels a lot sincere, more so. I also love in this film that there is a point where Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne starts doubting himself with what he hears about his parents and really differs what's the truth and what lies. Also, I just gotta say that I did not really enjoy Zoe Saldana's performance as Catwoman. It just did not feel as sincere. To me, okay. To me, when an actress plays the role of Catwoman, you really have a lot that you need to look for and look out for in this film. And I gotta say that I really don't think that Joey Salandra understood what made Catwoman compared to um, somebody like Michelle Pfeiffer or even the great Anne Hathaway, who really understood the role and performance of Catwoman a hell of a lot better than than what happened here in particular with that Joey Salandra didn't really understand the point of Catwoman and what she was trying to do to Frank Miller Catwoman, and all things considered, she just did a pretty good job as an actress, but as trying to portray this character that people well know and love, especially one of my favorite uh, basically anti-hero or villainesses in Batman's library. In fact, my favorite Catwoman is Julie Newmar, who I think really understood what it meant to be this seductress that goes after Batman. And Zoe Salandra just didn't bring that to the A game. I didn't feel myself really liking her character because Catwoman is supposed to be the seductress. She's supposed to, in a sense, turn men on to basically get an advantage from them. And Salandra did not have any of that going for her in this performance. And I gotta say that really didn't help her overall performance, and that she just didn't understand just the way that Catwoman is supposed to be portrayed. But for the villains, on the other hand, I gotta hand it to the villains of this movie because they both did a pretty awesome and phenomenal job. Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, and he does a pretty good job of captivating who the Penguin is supposed to be, but I don't think Farrell really had it in him. Granted, I love the Batmobile chase scene that they end up doing in this movie, but above all, I still don't think that Colin Farrell really understands what makes Penguin Penguin. I'm not saying that he was a bad penguin, he was mostly a questionable penguin, if I can be so honest with everybody. But where this movie really does excel is mostly the Riddler played by Paul Dano, and God bless him because he does an amazing Riddler performance. He brings everything that he can into this, and the performance of the Riddler in this movie is by far probably the best moment of the entire film, and especially the way how Dano handles him. And also, I have to comment on the Joker in this movie before I give my final verdict and also vinyl pop discussion. Paul Dano handled the Riddler like nobody else has. John Glover was amazing in the voice acting department, and Frank Gorshin was just a really funny, really goofy Riddler. But Paul Dano? I think Paul Dano just might be my favorite Riddler of all time in this. And also, I'd like to point out a mistake that I made in Multi Movie Monday that I corrected here. I accidentally said that Colin Farrell played Alfred. He did not. That was Andy Serkis, who I didn't really care for in the role of Alfred. So I'm sorry that I made that mistake. I didn't even process it that happened. So let me just say that I, fully and foremost, am very very sorry I made that mistake. I'm surprised nobody caught on to that yet. I accidentally said that Alfred was played by Colin Farrell. He was not. It was Andy Serkis, who was not my favorite Alfred, and Alfred is also a very big main player in Batman's universe, and Andy Serkis just didn't understand what made Alfred Alfred. My favorite Alfred till to this day is Michael Caine, and below that is Michael Goff. I just think that Caine just handles Alfred stupendously. Also, you got to talk about Uncle Scar himself, Jeremy Irons. He does an amazing job as Alfred as well in the Justice League. Not really Batman vs Superman, but more specifically Justice League. So the Joker in this, I can't lie. The Joker in this is a pretty good, solid Joker. He's not my favorite Joker. My favorite Joker is still Mark Hamill, who is retired from the role of Joker for what happened with Kevin Conroy, which is understandable, and I wish the best of him in his luck for the world. Um, but the Joker scene in this, I think that he did do a very good sinister Joker. I think that he really mostly encapsulate the feeling of Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, but he did not really encapsulate like the more I guess sinister but also serious side of Joker that Mark Hamill really did, where he is the clown prince of crime, and you just get that feeling whenever that he is talking as Joker. But with this guy, I'm sorry, no, I just don't really like him in the foremost part as the Joker himself. I know it was just a small role, small cameo. He might be in the sequel. I know that they hinted heavily that Mr. Freeze might be in the sequel, which had me a little bit afraid. Mr. Freeze is one of my favorite villains of Batman, so just had me a little bit afraid. But as a total for this movie, I think the Batman, despite a few flaws here and there, still holds up as a pretty awesome Batman film. It's unfortunately not my very favorite Batman film, but aside from everything that happened in this film, am happy to say that it does hold up as a pretty good superhero film and Batman film all the way around. But I just cannot say that it would be in my top 5 favorite movies. I'm sorry to say, top 10 yet, but top 5 no. But I do love the Batman for everything it brought to the table. Matt Reeves was an awesome director for this, and especially writing the screenplay alongside Peter Craig, they did write a pretty good screenplay and really good dramatic experience for the Batman in trying to figure out if his family's legacy had been alive for all these years, or if he is really the proud son of a mayor, not doctor in this universe, of the once great Thomas Wayne. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but the way how they really portray it is that I'm hoping that in the sequel this will be revealed a little bit more. It does feel like the Telltale Batman game in which you're trying to figure out the mystery behind the Waynes, and this would really be helpful, especially in the sequel. Like maybe do what the Telltale game did, maybe have Joker be an old friend of Batman that basically went crazy and then tried to kill, and then I guess tried to kill Thomas Wayne or something. Who knows? Maybe tie it in and make it canon to the Michael Keaton film. But as a total, The Batman is still a great movie, not one that really soars high in the clouds alongside of the Michael Keaton films or even the Christian Bale films, and that's why my vinyl pop rating of The Batman is going to be a magic. Also, in case you're curious or wondering, I give the same vinyl pop rating to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as well. So I don't know when specifically, but I do hope to go back and revisit Captain America the Winter Soldier. Again, I just don't know when that will be. I might have to rewatch it maybe a few more times before I officially come back, revisit it, and then tell you guys my opinions on it again, even though I watched it twice. But still. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this Rage Universe movie review. Tell me what you thought about the Batman if you have seen it in the comment section down below. And if you're excited to see Joker in the sequel, if he's there, or if you're more excited for Mr. Freeze. I am more excited for Mr. Freeze. Out of seeing what I've seen with just Joker, he's not my favorite so far. So let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time on the next Lazy Universe movie review.